Hi everyone, this is Lady T with your Virgo Boo Boo the Fool June 2022 reading. So let's talk about what I mean by Boo Boo the Fool. Two different meanings for Boo Boo the Fool. One was the one that I grew up with where, if you were acting a fool, you were called, Boo Boo the Fool. Um, because you were doing things you weren't thinking, you weren't, you were just being a fool. But in this instance, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about the fool that's on the Fool card in the tarot deck. This particular view of Boo Boo the Fool in this particular reading is more of someone who is has gone through life and learned some lessons, and wanting to really move forward in their authentic self. They want the desires of their heart. They want peace and joy and happiness. They want to return to their authentic self. And that is really the main journey that they're on at this time, as they move forward. Now, in pursuing their hopes and dreams and desires, they understand about manifestation, and so that's why the manifestation piece is brought into this. Because when you've learned things in life, you've got to keep growing, you've got to keep learning, and so this is the person who has lived life, learned lessons. They understand things and they want to move forward in the right way. They want to manifest in the right way because they understand some things that they've learned along the way about manifestation. So we'll talk about all that as we get through the reading. But this Boo Boo the Fool that in this reading is someone who's pretty crafty, pretty smart, and has learned a lot of things and wants to put that into action. So they're willing to take the risk. And so that's why I called it Boo Boo the Fool. So let's go ahead and get into your reading, Virgo. Your center energy is temperance. You're coming into balance because, you've been through some things based on your other cards. So you've used your intuition because that's crowning you. And so your intuition is on point at this time. And your undermining energy is change. So you know that things need to change. You are changing. Everything is changing around you. And what led up to this is really a deceptive situation that you are in, and some deception that you had within yourself, and not wanting to walk in that anymore, because you were deceiving yourself about a particular situation, and in doing so, you really caused a lot of self-harm. And so this is where you're wanting to come out of that and move forward the right way. Your outcome is Three of Swords with sorrow, potentially, through, a relationship of some sort, and clarity about that. Now, as we move over to your other cards, this is the Receive Oracle. And the first message you have here is be spacious. I'm willing to discover the manifesting power of caring for my space. And so your space is really internal and external. So it's your space internally, how you care about you as an individual, your self-confidence, how you allow your ego to run the show or not run the show. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But really, really understanding that as internal and external. It's the relationship you have with spirit. It's the relationship you have, period, with anything and everything. You have next, receive wealth. I'm willing to deeply see all of the ways that I am wealthy now, because to me that lends to the attitude of gratitude and just being thankful, that, you have a lot of things to be thankful for. You woke up this morning, you have the roof over your head, you have, a clear mind. There's so many ways you can look at that, and so many ways that you could write a list and keep going for a very long time of all the things to be thankful for. So it's really asking you to step into that as well and maintain that. Receive respect. I'm willing to expand my capacity to receive by respecting more of me. And that is about you not allowing anyone to do anything to you. You standing in your power, maintaining your boundaries, respecting yourself, and demanding the same from others. That's really what I get off of that. but not in a, a negative way, but just really in a very strong, truthful way. Be an invitation. I'm willing to see all that is right in my life. And again, back to that gratitude, and just being thankful, even for the times that were difficult and challenging. They taught you a lesson. And that's really, having the right attitude about those lessons is very important. We can walk around, oh, I'm the victim, I'm this, I'm that, why did they do this to me? Not really taking any accountability that you allowed the situation as well. So really, really taking an honest look at the situation from all angles, really owning your part in it. And by putting your big girl, big guy panties on, and and really just looking at it as it is, without really, having all of the negativity that comes along with that. Sure, you've got the sorrow and you're working through that, but you have the clarity, and so you are not wallowing. That's the difference at this time. You are moving forward. You are taking the lesson, and you are deciding intentionally to leave the past in the past. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue on. These are your divine abundance messages. Change. When the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. Yeah, and it's important to understand how much the ego tries to control. The control that the ego tries to exert has been going on for a very long time in most of us. The ego came around when we, were in many, many, many generations ago, and it was there to protect us because we were in dangerous times. We had, animals trying to eat us and all that kind of stuff. But we haven't been in that situation in quite some time. And it's like our ego never got the message. So anytime we're in any kind of anything, the ego kicks in to protect us when it really doesn't need to. And so it also tries to control the situation. If you are in a relationship and you're hurt by something in the relationship, the ego will kick in and talk and do that talking to you. See, I told you you shouldn't have been with this person. I told you this, or I told you that. And that's really not what you need at that time. You really need to be able to have your ego take a seat and understand how your ego is working. Your ego is nothing more than a record player, and it's playing the same song over and over again because you've allowed it to gain strength over the years because you didn't know any better. None of us did. But if we really want to manifest things into our life, we have to understand how our subconscious really is the main way we do that. So if we don't have our subconscious on lock, understanding what we are feeling and thinking in our subconscious, the thoughts that are, constantly playing in our head kind of thing. If we are not intentional about ensuring what those are and then changing that record if they're not what they should be, then we can't manifest, because manifestation of negative thoughts and asking for abundance in our lives, it just doesn't line up. You want abundance in your life, but you have a spirit of lack, or you have a spirit of I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy, or whatever it is. It's not going to line up, and it's not going to happen. So until you do the work and take the action to get yourself in alignment, stop that record from playing, tell your ego to have a seat, manifesting is going to be harder and probably delayed. You can do it, but it's going to take you doing the work. To clear out all of that other stuff first and getting that foundation rebuilt so that that record you're playing is a positive one, so that you are maintaining that positive vibration, so that you are in alignment with the thing you're asking for. If the vibration of the abundance is a 10 and you're at a 2, it's not going to work. So you've got to be, you've got to be in alignment with that. You've got to be in flow. You've got to understand divine timing. You've got to understand having, balance and patience along with that balance. You've got to understand a lot of things if you really want to manifest properly. One of the other things too, besides taking the action to make sure of what that record your subconscious is really putting out there, for you to attract things, you have to understand the law of attraction and how that works. If you are subconsciously at a level 2, then you're manifesting from a level 2. You're not manifesting abundance. You're manifesting, oh, I don't deserve it, or, nobody in my family had this before, so why do I deserve it? Those kinds of things. And so you really have to pay attention to what that record is playing, and you've got to reestablish a new song inside your head so that you are manifesting at the right level. So you are no longer bringing those things into your life from a negative aspect, because that's where you were when you were manifesting them. Let's go ahead on with your messages. So we've got humility. Allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. And that is about, being humble enough to ask for help, because you can be so strong that you never ask for help. And that's just not the reality of the situation. We all need help. And your spirit guides, your spirit team, spirit itself, your archangels, everybody, ancestors, everybody, they are there to help you. They want to help you, but they can't come in unless you invite them in. So that's really important, to really ask for help when you need it. Non-duality. Let your authentic humanity shine forth while also bowing to the inner divine. You can be fluent at doing both. So really, this is about being, your authentic self and allowing yourself to shine, because your relationship to spirit, and who spirit is within you. Remember, you're a co-creator of your experience. And spirit is wanting you to shine. Spirit is wanting you to be your authentic self, so that you can help humanity, and you can do both at the same time. You're also at this time clearing out some karma. There's nothing from the past that can't be addressed in the current life. So understanding that the circumstances in your life that happened the way that they did was part of your karma. Whether that was good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's just the way it is. You brought karma from a past life into this life, just like anybody you were dealing with brought karma in. Okay, so now let's talk about your money and law of attraction cards from Esther and Jerry Hicks. It is not my role to make others happy, and this is a huge deal for me, because I've always wanted to help people, and so it's my natural tendency to want to try to help people, but that's usually at my own detriment. And so I have to learn, and this is part of my journey with this particular time in my life, to let people go through their own journey on their own. They've got to learn lessons just like I had to learn lessons. And so that is about understanding that, and having boundaries in place, so that you are not giving to a situation where you weren't receiving. And so that's really, again, everything is a lesson. Every situation, every person that comes across your path is a lesson. Does that mean that they necessarily are meant to be in your life? That remains to be seen, because you have to learn the lesson or you're doomed to repeat it. Let's see. I can have money and freedom too. This is about your mindset about working, very hard to get money. And I grew up watching my parents work hard. My mother still works, and she's, probably in her 70s. And so, that's, I don't want to be that person though. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe I can do a job that I love. I believe that I can be abundant in that job, and I believe I don't have to work hard for it either. So that's the mindset that you're being encouraged to take on as you move forward in manifesting your hopes and desires. After you do this work and you put yourself in an alignment position with what you're desiring. I want to harmonize with my desire. Again, coming into that balance, understanding, that vibration, coming into that harmony with the vibration as well to bring it in. And then I can always tell myself a different financial abundance story. And this is about your relationship with money, in really understanding how you feel about money, and really, and then doing the work to maybe change how you're looking at money, kind of thing. I really do hope that this helps you, Virgo, to step into your Boo Boo the Fool energy for June 2022. Much love and light, Lady T.